Hello and welcome to Vengeance Season 7 pre-draft/draft show. We are here, 7 seasons of Vengeance. That's kind of hard to believe. Vengeance, gosh, when was the first season? It's been a long time, but Season 7, pretty exciting. I think the thing about Vengeance that's a little bit different than some of your other leagues is that every season there's something different. So, I even forced everybody one time to play three-way CTF for Vengeance, and don't think I've forgotten about that because I'm gonna go ahead and do that again some point. But yeah, this season, and actually really the last couple of seasons, there have been some edits to the weapons. We've had our own Vengeance weapons WOD that just played around with the strength of the different weapons. This season, the weapons will, we won't have any RNG, which is very exciting for Dragon. The weapons will behave like vanilla, but there will just be no RNG. So, and it goes back to a more traditional setup in terms of the league structure itself. We've got the Swiss system and a point system, right? So the regular season is point-based. 5 points for a 2-round win, 3 points for a 3-round win, 2 points for a tie, 1 point for a 3-round loss, and then if you lose in 2 rounds, sadly, you do not get any points. But, the rest of it, pretty standard. You've got, like I said, a Swiss system in the regular season, minimum of 2 rounds. Third will be the tiebreaker, 5 flags, 10 minutes. We do have 4 maps that were chosen as a 4-week regular season. We'll take a look at those maps in just a second. There's a nice mix of classic and newish classic maps and then new maps. So yeah, we'll take a look at those. This will be an American season. There probably will be more non-Americans playing than Americans, but we are hosting it on US servers. Yeah, so I think jumping into the signups, I think this really came together really in the last couple days. I would say extending the signups an additional week was helpful. We saw some people sign up that were not previous to that. So total 33 total players are going to be playing this season. 6 of them are captains, 27 of them are free agents. So yeah, how it works. Sorry, my headset just the sound just went off. We've got this draft coming up. These 6 captains. It's an auction draft, right? So each captain will be given $30, and within that $30, they're going to have to draft 3 other people onto their team. So we'll jump into a little bit of that, but right now I think it would be great to kind of go through that. Who is playing this season? Who is captaining? Who are our free agents? Let's take a look at that really quickly. All right, so there you go. Like I said, 33 players signed up to play this season. Let's take a look really quickly at what the auction draft is going to look like a little bit. So let's see here. We got this spreadsheet. So basically, as I mentioned, all the captains are going to receive $30. They're going to take turns nominating, and we do have a nomination order. So they'll take turns nominating players for, X amount of dollars, right? And within that $30 budget that they have, they're going to want to select their entire team. So the nomination order is, let's take a look really quickly. First is Dragon, second is Amar, third is Poto, fourth is Xwiz, fifth is Disparel, and sixth is Skullrush. So what's going to happen here is they'll go in order: Dragon, Amar, Poto, Xwiz, Disparel, Skullrush, and then they'll do reverse order on the nominations back. So then Skullrush will nominate twice, and then we'll go back to Disparel, and so on. If a captain finishes drafting their entire team before they, if they finish, then they're taken out of the nomination order. So it just would skip them and go to the next person, basically. So yeah, we'll get into that in about 13 minutes or so. But we're going to take a quick look at some of the maps this season. As I mentioned, there are some classic maps. We actually have two maps from good old ZD CTF. We got ZD CTF 02 and 03. Two of the oldest CTF maps that you could possibly play. So that's going to be interesting. And then we've got a map from Attack CTF, which is much, much newer. And smack in the middle of that is Mephitic Waste from Core CTF. So let's jump in really quickly and just take a look at those maps. Let's see. Probably easier to just call vote it if I can. They're disabled. Lovely. So let's run around and find it, because we're also trying to, okay, let's go this way. It's probably over here. Yep. Oh, and I can't go to it. Oh, that's too sad. All right, we're gonna do this. So this is your classic ZDCTF 03. It's very interesting because this, change map, thank you. This map, really was built long before any kind of CTF gameplay was even discovered, thought about. It was really just, let's pump this WAD out and let's get people playing CTF. So it's fairly basic, right? Like, it's got some basic infrastructure, but at its core, it's a very, very defensive map. And I would say, historically, right, you have people that are defending. They're sitting here, or they're sitting over here. Maybe they're even pushing up a little bit, like to the door, so they can see people coming through. But I mean, it's really not a map that, you're not going to see like 5 flags on one team, 4 flags on the other. It's super defensive. These are the only 2 routes that you can take to get into the base. So it's a bottleneck, really. And if you come up to the middle, this middle tunnel here is where people are going to run through a lot as one way. This is the other direction. So, rockets are pretty popular on this map. You'd have this green armor here. Yeah, and that's really all there is to it. You run through here, and then you get to the other side. So I would say, like, anybody that's played CTF in the last, 10 to 15 years, like, maps have evolved quite a bit since this. That doesn't make this a bad map. It just makes it more simple. So to start off with this in week 1, it's kind of your, I don't know what you'd say. It's just your warm-up map, right? This was always my favorite area of the map here. And then you're stuck. So let's jump into the week 2 map really quickly, which is another old map, right? From the same WAD as this one. What's the map number? Map 56. Um, so this one, even though made at the same time as the last map, it's a little bit more adventurous, right? Like, we've played this a couple times in different leagues over the years, and it's always played super interesting. Um, like, I, I don't know. It's tough to say. This is one way into the base, and this is another, and that's the flag room. So, again, it's almost like, okay, you have two ways in, and getting in is not easy. So, like, when you're defending, I'm not really sure that you're defending from the flag room. And what's interesting is you can see the other flag room through this window. That's, I wouldn't say unheard of, but not particularly like common. And I think the reason why is because it just really causes a lot of chaos. And the best way that I could describe it is this is really like, it's a pub CTF map. It's played 5v5 or 6v6. So when you reduce it down to a 3v3 setting, it makes for, I don't know, it makes for some different types of gameplay. Very interesting, but remains to be seen how people will play this in 2026, some 22 years after it was made, which, by the way, is older than some of the people signed up in this goddamn league. So it should be interesting. But the more common path is this long pathway here. And you can see where, this is where the base ends, right? And there's this plasma in the middle, which is, pretty much, well, I would say A, useless, but B, impossible to get, because you have to lower this, which only lowers your side. You have to do the same thing over here, and then you can get the plasma. And, what does that do? Not sure what it does at this point. Wastes time, but, some people will go for it. I would say maybe the fun part about this map is if you're grabbing the flag. Let's say you grab your enemy's flag, the blue base, you come over to red. Oh crap, my flag's stolen. You can hide over here, and it's maybe the first place that people would think to look, but also the first place that people think to look is not often the place that they look. So then you've got this little room here that you can hide in, and then of course the teleporter here that takes you over into the other base, and a lot of people will hide here, or some combination of that. So really there's not a whole lot to this map. So I think the first 2 weeks are going to be more of a test of, like, maybe not patience, but your ability to put up with rocket spamming, maybe. So should be interesting. We can definitely dive deeper into these maps as the season progresses, and we do Vengeance Radio, which is really inevitable. Jumping into the next map. Make sure this is the right one. Yes. This is a popular map, I believe, or actually, no, I was thinking of a different one. I don't think I've played this, but like looking at it from, a new person's perspective, wildly different than the first two, right? Like just super wide open. First of all, you have this sphere here in the middle. Let's see, the base is pretty big in comparison. Okay, you have this lift to get up to the flag. Yeah, I mean, the base is pretty big. So I don't know exactly where the spawn points are here, but it's going to give a lot more room for hiding, and a lot more room for, like, maybe you're, like, where do you defend, basically? Like, it's going to be the tough part, I would say, is where do you sit as a defender? There's a lot of different areas for you to cover, which really makes it great for runners. It opens it up a little bit for runners to be able to do some cool stuff here. So I'm excited to see that. Grab this armor on the way out. And you got this middle area here. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can go into the base. I can see some interesting little mini rocket jumps working, maybe. Yeah, this is a good week 3 map. I always felt like the middle maps in every season, like when I was making the seasons, we were still doing like 7 or 8 week seasons, but somewhere around like week 4, week 5, I'd want to throw something in there that was completely different than everything else. I wouldn't say that this is like wildly different than everything else, but it's certainly knowing what the last map is, Mephitic Waste, it's definitely the largest map of the season, so it's going to provide some different gameplay than your other 3 weeks. Let's take a look at week 4, Mephitic Waste, which really became popular in the WDL, and it became a staple playoff map selection of basically any team that Ross King was a part of. He was really good at this map. I unfortunately had to play him on this map a number of times, and it didn't end well because if you didn't notice, I do not use mouse look. So really great map. I think some of the underrated parts of this map and the way that it changed CTF gameplay is through the rocket jumping. So, I mean, you could, in theory, it's going to take me a minute to get up there, right? But there's this area up here that drops you down to the flag. So you could, if you were good enough to do it, which so many people are these days, drop down, grab the flag, rocket jump out, and make it over here, and then make it across there to the other side of the base. With the lag here, I can't make the jump. But yeah, you could basically get over here without ever even touching the ground here, which is insane. You could do it in like 4 seconds, and we've seen it done. So just like the dynamic that this map has changed in the way that we play CTF and the way that we think about rocket jumping. It's a very unique map in that sense. You've got the blue armor over here. Yeah, it's been a really fun map to play when I'm winning, which isn't particularly often, but yeah, it's a tough map to defend too. Like, you'd think, okay, for me, right, I'm gonna defend right on this medkit because at least if I get shot, I'm gonna get health right away. The second that you leave here and you get kind of cute about pushing up is the second somebody's gonna drop down from here. So, you know, I really like as a whole, I think these 4 maps this season are different. Like, they all provide something a little bit different. I do like the sort of rocket heavy gameplay that we're going to see in weeks 1, 2, and 4. I think rockets are really like, those have always been my favorite weapon. I think, yeah, it's going to be a fun season. And we're coming up on draft time, so I'm going to go ahead and just... Oh, this will probably be a really bad transition, but whatever. We'll just go ahead and jump into the draft itself. So, oh, that's funny. So looking at the captain channel, we haven't heard from Skull Rush. Well, I mean, I could keep filling time here. I'm sure Skull Rush will be here. But we can take a look at the brackets again, because it's there and it looks nice. Something that happens when you fill out the brackets. Let's say, you know, Dragon was to draft me for $28, which, oh, I didn't mention that. In previous drafts, you're able to draft somebody, like, let's say you're nominating a player. You really want that player. They're the greatest player in the world, like me here in this scenario. I nominate Human Bones for $28. Okay, well, that means no other captain can nominate or bid on that player because you can't bid $29 on a player. Otherwise, you won't have enough money to draft the rest of your team. So, 28. Very fancy Excel sheet. Automatically removes $28 from Dragon's budget and puts him in the red. You have wasted $28 on your first pick, Human Bones. You will now select basically whoever's left, which is not an insult to the other players, but that's just the way that math works, right? So that's that. Let's take a quick look again. Have we heard from Skull Rush? Oh, there we go. Okay. So looks like I'm going to go ahead and be the auctioneer of this draft. It is public to everyone who wants to watch. However, we're going to have it nicely streamed up here for you. As I mentioned, the nomination order: Dragon, Amar, Poto, Exwiz, Disparel, and Skull Rush. So I'm gonna go ahead and just ask them, please confirm when you are here. Unfortunately, I don't have any like lo-fi fun music to play during this, so unfortunately you're just gonna have to go ahead and listen to my voice, which is painful for all of us, believe me. I don't want to hear myself any more than you want to hear me, but we're here. And you know who else is here? Xwiz, Dragon. I know Disparel is here. Amar is here. Waiting on Poto and Skull Rush. There's Skull Rush. Okay. Waiting on Poto. So, somebody nominates, and then the bidding begins. It is my job as the auctioneer to wait, some amount of time that I've dedicated in my head to say going once, and then to say going twice, so on and so on. So looks like all of our captains are here. That's on the stream, Disparel. You can't delete it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. Dragon is up first to nominate. Let the draft begin. Oh, we can take a look at what's going on in the league discussion channel. Nothing. Nothing. Wonderful. All the captains are gathering in the draft channel. It's always the anticipation of seeing who is going to be nominated first. You got to give me something, Dragon. There's only so much talking I can do. Okay, Dragon has nominated Denzoa for $1. Denzoa for $1. Okay. Nobody has responded yet. All right, there you go. Poto jumps in at 2. Disparel is typing. Going once to Poto for $2. Okay, Disparel jumps in at 3. Poto jumps in at 5. Okay. Denzoa going once to Poto for 5. Okay, Disparel in at 6. Could I maybe, I can try, but you're gonna have to give me a second. Going once. Okay, Poto jumps in. Let's see if I can do that. I'll do it after this, all right? Going once. Okay. Denzoa for $8. To Disparel. Going once. Damn it. Okay. Denzoa for $10 to Disparel. Going once to Disparel. Wow. Okay. Poto just jumps in at 15. He's tired of this. He's had enough. He's not doing this with you anymore, Disparel. What say you? Okay, you said 16. Denzoa is such a hot commodity. And I don't mean that by his Discord avatar. Poto at 17. Okay. Disparel at 18. I don't even have to do anything. You guys can just do my job for me. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Okay, seems like we're good at 18. Going once to Disparel. Denzoa going twice to Disparel at 18. Ooh. Well, we finally got to going twice. 5 minutes into the draft, we haven't even picked a single person. Going once to Poto. Denzoa going twice to Poto. Is Dispearl going to jump in? Sold. Okay. Denzoa is sold for 19 to Poto. Give me 1 second to put the players up. Okay, so just give me 2 seconds here. So Denzoa for 19. Take him off the list. Okay. 1 second. Sorry. Don't do that, please. All right. Can I make it so that these two are next to each other? That's the question that I have to figure out in the next 2 seconds. Okay. That's about as good as I can do. Thank you for waiting. Now, who the fuck nominates next now that you've distracted me? Amar. Waiting for Amar to nominate. I'm not sure if I finished my thought, but he can not nominate for $28. You can bid for 28, but you cannot jump out and nominate somebody for $28. That is a new rule that we'll be doing here this season. Okay, Amara nominates Ninja Dog. Poto jumps in at 10. Okay, that's Poto's max bid. Okay. Okay, Dragon at 12. So Poto cannot bid any longer. Dispearl jumps in at 15. Skull Rush at 16. Going for the heavy hitters first, right off the bat. Okay. Oh, okay. Amar got it first on my screen. Okay, Dispearl 18. Okay. Ninja Dog going once to Dispearl at 18. Dispearl and Ninja Dog, that sounds scary. Just cover my eyes on that one. Ninja Dog going twice to Dispearl. Okay. Amar jumps in at 19. Going once to Amar. Damn you! Okay. X-Wiz jumps in at 20. Amar at 21. Ninja Dog for 21. Ninja Dog for 22 to Dispearl. I mean, totally worth it, by the way. If anyone's ever watched Ninja Dog, which everyone has. Going once to Dispearl for $22. Okay, going twice to Dispearl for 22. Sold. Okay, Dispearl grabs Ninja Dog for $22. All right, so let's update this very quickly. 22. Take him off the list. And then what I need to do is actually write down this draft order so I stop asking people. P.E. Dispearl and Skull Rush. Okay. So, Poto is up next to nominate. If I can type. You should have bid more. You could have. You could have bid more. I think Skull Rush is holding out to draft me. Poto jumps in with ACC for 10, so that is Poto's max bid. Amar cuts him off at 11, so Poto is out. See if anybody... Okay, Dragon for 12. Okay. ACC going once to Dragon for 12. ACC going twice to Dragon for 12. Oh. Skull Rush got it first on my screen. So Skull Rush at 13 for ACC. Dragon jumps in at 14. X-Wiz jumps in at 15. A lot of bidding wars today. Dragon at 16. X-Wiz at 17. Dragon 18. Wiz 19. Okay, going once to Wiz at 19. Dragon at 20. Going once to Dragon at 20. Come on, I know someone's going to do it. Someone's going to cut me off here. Okay, going twice to Dragon for 20. As soon as I told you. Skull Rush jumps in at 21. Hasn't made a bid since 13, by the way. So he spent some time thinking about that one. Going once to Skull Rush at 21. Wiz jumps in at 22. So far, 22 matches the highest bid, or the highest purchase, which was Ninja Dog. So going once to Wiz at 22. Going twice to Wiz at 22. Okay, Skull Rush jumps in at 23. Kind of saw that one coming. Just want to hear me type on this keyboard right next to my microphone. Going once. Okay. ACC going twice to Skull Rush at 23. I am typing out sold now. Enter. Okay. Skull Rush has purchased ACC for $23. That is now the high bid this season. High purchase this season, rather. Let's get that updated. All right. Okay. Still a lot of good players left up on the board here, but our first three are heavy hitters. Really good players. So Dragon, Wiz, and Amar are still waiting to draft their first players. And Wiz is up next to nominate. So he's got all of his money. So let's see what his strategy is here. Okay, Tiger for 10. So that cuts off Poto, cuts off Skull Rush, and cuts off Disparol. Dragon first. So current bid is Dragon 11 for Tiger. Okay, Wiz jumps in at 15. Amar got that one first on my screen. Okay, Dragon jumps in at 17. Wiz at 18. Okay. Tiger going once to Wiz for 18. Tiger going twice to Wiz for 18. Is anyone going to jump in? Typing out sold now. Okay. Wiz grabs Tiger at 18. Let's get him off the list. All right. We have this barrel up next to nominate. Let's see who Disparrow is going to nominate. So still two players, or two captains, who have not drafted a player yet, Amara and Dragon. A lot of money. Nexus for 7. Dragon jumped in at 8, Poto at 10, Dragon at 11. All right. So the only person that can outbid Dragon is Amar. So Nexus is going once to Dragon for 11. Nexus is going twice to Dragon for 11. Amar. Sold. Okay. Dragon grabs Nexus for 11. Which, if you didn't see, everybody, they're probably saying it right now. Let's see. Do not spend large amounts of money on Dragon. Yeah, okay, so there you go. But I don't care what you say, it's still Nexus, so interesting. Interesting to let a player of Nexus's caliber go for $11, regardless of their availability. You know, that's somebody that can show up and fuck you up, you know, without any practice. But who am I? I'm just the auctioneer. Okay. So taking a look at the players that we've drafted so far, all really heavy, really, really good players. Players that can, you know, change a team. Oh, okay, we're jumping back in. Skull Rush has nominated Sharp for 6. Disparrow jumps in at 7. That's Disparrow's max bid. Poto jumps in at 8. Wiz at 11. So that is Wiz's max bid for a player. Sharp. Okay, Dragon jumps in at 18, which is also Dragon's max bid. So the only person that can beat Dragon is Amar. So going once to Dragon for 18. Okay. Going twice to Dragon. And we are sold. So Sharp gets sold to Dragon for 18. And just in the last two, Dragon has grabbed Nexus and Sharp and is suddenly sitting with $1. So, hey, my thing didn't work. Well, that's weird. But it's all right. Dragon, you're going to sit there for a while and wait because you're probably not going to be able to pick somebody. So now we go right back to SKR again. Oh, well, no shit. I didn't put 18. Legion for $1. Poto jumps in at 2. Okay. Going once to Poto for 2. Going twice. Oop. Okay, Disparel jumps in at $3. Going once to Disparel for 3. Okay, going twice to Disparel for... Never mind. Poto jumps in at 4. Going once to Poto. Okay, Disparel jumps in at 5. Going once to Disparel for 5. Amar at 6. Okay. Disparel at 7. That is Disparel's max bid. Amar jumps in at 8. So that takes Disparel out. We have Poto and Wiz who can outbid him. But will they? Poto jumps in at 10. Still leaves Wiz and Amar who could jump in. But we're going to go once to Poto for 10. Go twice. Sold. Okay, Legion sold to Poto for $10. That's going to leave Poto with 1 as well, so you can hang tight. You'll be sitting there for a minute. We've got Disparel up next to nominate. What's going on in the league discussion channel? Some very great stuff happening here. So glad that we switched over to this chat. All right, back to draft. Let's see who Disparel nominates. Disparel sitting with $8, so in theory he could nominate somebody for 7 and take out Dragon, Poto, and Skull Rush from... Well, Dragon and Poto really can't bid on anyone unless they're nominating somebody, but let's see what Disparel does. The Fat Willie, aka Shane, for $7, which, as I suspected he might do, that is his max bid, so nobody's jumping in right away, so we're just going to go ahead and say we're going once to Disparel. Okay, we're going to say going twice to Disparel. Sold. All right. That was easy. Fat Willie for $7. All right. Wiz up next. Just in case anybody wants to see. All right. So as I mentioned, still some really good players left on the board here. But you tend to go, I would say there were a lot of like more A-tier players like available in free agency than we've seen in more recent seasons. So that's probably why you're seeing a lot of these higher, first picks here for like 22, 23, 19, 18. Like, okay, Wiz nominates Vinny for 1. Amar goes in for 2. I mean, Amar has some good history with Vinny. Going once to Amar for $2. Oh, okay. Wiz decided that he wants Vinny. So the only person that can stop him now is Amar. If Amar wants to spend money on Vinny, he's going to have to do that in the next 20-ish seconds. Going once to Wiz for 11. Amar is typing at 12. Okay, so that is sold. Amar has purchased Vinny for $12, and that gives Amar his first player. Next time I'm just going to click there. Yep, so that gives Amar his first player. He still has the most amount of money left, so that bodes very well for him. Poto up next. Yeah, see, this is why I got to figure out how to play some of that lo-fi music that... Poto grabs Mertz for $1, or nominates Mertz for $1. By the way, that would be a championship reunion for them. Poto and Mertz, but that will not be happening because both Amar and Wiz jumped in with $2. So right now, Amar showed up first on my screen, so it's Amar. Mertz is going once to Amar for $2. Wiz jumps in at 3. See if anyone else will jump in here. Okay, going once to Wiz for 3. Okay, Mertz going twice to Wiz for 3. Sold. All right. That's leaving Wiz with $9, which is still a strong position to be in. Second most available money. Let's see here. Up next to nominate is going to be Amar. So in theory, right? In theory, Amar could have nominated somebody and grabbed him for whatever amount he wanted. So instead, he nominates Ghost Killer for $1. Let's see if anybody jumps in. Nobody so far, so we're going to go ahead and going once to Amar for $1. Skull Rush jumps in at 2. Amar jumps back in at 3. Okay. Going once to Amar for 3. Skull Rush jumps in at 4. Amar jumps in at 5. Skull Rush jumps in at 6. This is the most money that Skull Rush can bid, so if Amar is going to outbid him, this will be the time. Wiz also available to outbid. Okay. Amar jumps in at 7, so that takes Skull Rush out. The only person who can outbid Amar is Wiz. But we are going once. Okay. So then we are sold. Amar grabs Ghost Killer for $7. Amar is still in a very good spot here. He has drafted 2 of his 3 players and is left with the most amount of money left. So good for him. He can essentially choose who he wants to play with, should he also choose to do that. Dragon. Up next to nominate. Dragon sitting with the dollar, so I would say, if he wants a certain player, this would not be the time to nominate them because he won't be able to pick them. And so he nominates Marine for $1. Which actually he might be able to grab. You never know, because nobody has jumped in yet. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're going once to Dragon. Okay, and there's Amar's team. Amar said, I need to leave and go somewhere, so this will be my last player. Marine Guy 11. Amar has spent all of his money, and that's that. So congratulations. We'll just recap Amar's team. It's Amar, Vinny, Ghost Killer, and Marine Guy. Good team there. Thanks, Amar. Enjoy the rest of your day. Dragon goes again. The typing. Okay, Beast for $1. Beast for $1. All right. Beast going once to Dragon for $1. Beast going twice to Dragon for $1. And Beast is sold to Dragon for $1. And that's going to wrap up Dragon's team as well. So Dragon, Nexus, Sharp, and Beast. So Amar, his team is full, so he will not nominate. So we'll skip ahead to Poto to nominate. Lots of thinking going on right now. Poto currently has Denzoa and Legion, which is a really strong team. Nominated Killer 007 for $1. His clanmate, as I've mentioned on several streams for some reason. There's some information that I just repeat over and over again, but that's one of them. So Killer going once to Poto for $1. Killer going twice to Poto for $1. Sold. All right. Killer 007 sold to Poto, and that's going to wrap up Poto's team. As I mentioned, we've got Poto, Denzoa, Legion, and now Killer. 3 of our teams are full. 3 other captains still looking to draft players, including Skull Rush, who needs 2 additional players. So let's see what he does with his remaining $7. Wiz up next. Okay, RHM for 9. That's going to wrap up his team. Wiz, Tiger, Mertz, and RHM. All right, so then we have Disparol. Chain for $1. So, okay. So chain goes for $1. And that means SKR can pick his last 2 players. Oh, well, that's lovely. That will be Human Bones for 3 and Toby for 3. All right. So that's going to go ahead. It doesn't work like that. We're going to go ahead and recap all of our teams. Skull Rush is left with $1, which means actually that this team here gets an extra win on the season. So I'm not sure why the other captains let that happen, but yeah, Skull Rush's team seemingly is automatically qualified for the playoffs. But recapping now, we've got Amar, Vinny, Ghost Killer, Marine Guy, X-Wiz, Tiger, Mertz, and RHM, Disparol, Ninja Dog, the Fat Willy, and Chain, Dragon, Nexus, Sharp, and Beast, Poto, Denzoa, Legion, and Killer, and Skull Rush, ACC, Human Bones, and Toby. So, yeah, I think what we could do, so actually it's been requested that we randomize live here on stream just for you our first week matchups. So we're going to go back to our very favorite website, which is the Wheel of Names. Wheel of Names. Okay, let me see. Give me 1 second here while I figure this out. Let's go ahead and drag in. Nope, we don't want to do that. Let's get the source. Okay, so, oh, that's funny. We don't need to see that video again. This has been the streaming, how to stream on OBS half-ass 101 class for all of you. Let's see. Basically, I need to take a look at the first week schedule here. Okay. Let's enter in the names here. We've got Team Amar, Team Dragon, Team Poto, Team Disparol, Team Skull Rush, Team X-Wiz. All right. So, let us get to the Wheel of Names very quickly. Bear with me a moment here. Believe it is going to be nope, we don't want to do that. You've added a browser source. You know, you can't ask me to do things last minute because it's awful. I'm awful. We don't want to do that either. You know, Dragon, why? Why must you do this to me? I was all prepared. Give me a second. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. I got it. All right. So, Wheel of Names. Perfect. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this great transition here? Boom, Wheel of Names. Okay. So, who will play who in week 1? We're going to spin and find out together. Week 1 matchups. Doing week 1 matchups. Who will go first? Okay, we have Team XWiz versus Team Skull Rush. Rolling again, the most exciting thing. We've got Team Dragon versus, if I can get over to the remove button, who will it be? Go. Team Amar. All right, who's going to be the next matchup? Okay, it's Team Poto. And let's see who Team Poto is going to play. Let's take a look. Who will it be? Okay, it's looking like Team Poto will play Team Disparol. Well, so that's it, folks. We have our teams. We have our week 1 matchups. Very exciting. And we also have, I believe there's a private CTF happening right now. There's lots of things going on, but some of the things that you can look forward to this season, as usual, we'll have Vengeance Radio. We'll probably try to get a few folks on throughout the season to talk about their teams, talk about their matchups, et cetera, et cetera. So thanks for bearing with me through trying to figure out OBS live on stream. Thank you to Dragon for adding 15 things for me to do midstream. It's very helpful. And Thank you for drafting me because it looked kind of weird there at the end, but I'll take it. So we will see you guys sometime in the next week or so. The season starts this week, so you'll see a lot of teams practicing, and they'll be practicing ZD CTF Map 3. Very exciting. Talk to you guys later.